Okay, so if you've ever wondered why your cold emails are getting ignored, it's usually because you don't know what your leads actually care about. Imagine if you could tap directly into your prospects' real pain points without spending hours on research or without spending hours on writing email sequences. What I've done today is I've built a tool. It's going to scrape your prospects' real pain points, and then it's going to turn that data into a 5-day cold email sequence that is actually written for that audience. My name's Jake Batt, and I build automations and AI systems that are not overcomplicated setups that you see on YouTube, but real systems that you can plug and play into your business right away. If you'd like to access this system in particular, my school community is currently free, not free forever. Go ahead and sign up and download this blueprint. You can upload this directly into your NAN account and start using it today. So this here is what we're going to be building. As you can see, it doesn't look too complicated. It's a lot simpler than it looks. A lot of these nodes are just handling data and editing fields and stuff. So, but the key thing is the scraper here that we're going to use. Now, also keep in mind that how we scrape these is not free. It's gonna you're gonna have to be a Apify paid user to scrape these and run these actors. We'll get into that in a sec. But basically what this does is this is scheduled to run every day. It will then use Apify to scrape LinkedIn comments. Now you can select the amount of comments you scrape, and then it's going to filter those comments those posts. It's going to filter those posts by engagement. So we're not just scraping every random person's post. We're going to have ones that people are actually responding to, and then it's going to spit out that data. This is just a field for Airtable, just setting the field. Then we're going to aggregate that data into one field, feed that to AI to find the pain points, and then we're going to feed those pain points to the next AI model, which is going to build a 5-day sequence, and then we're going to add that sequence to Airtable, which is just the database tool that I use. You can use Google Sheets. I just use Airtable, and then it's going to build out a 5-day email sequence that's actually geared to what your audience want to hear about, and then you can just copy and paste this into your Instantly account. It's going to save you time. If you've had any experience writing cold emails, creating cold email campaigns, you know that it can be super time consuming trying to figure out what to offer. This way you can start punching out like a bunch of different sequences and split testing. So you can have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different offers all running at once. Obviously you need the inbox capacity to do that, but it doesn't end with just LinkedIn. You can add Reddit in here, you can add Instagram, you can add Facebook. Just for simplicity's sake, I'm using LinkedIn. So So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild this from scratch so you can see how it works. If you don't want to do that, go ahead, click the link below and download this, add it to your NAN, and then just play around. Okay, so I am going to just create a new workflow. And I'm just going to take this existing workflow. I'm just going to bring it onto my other screen so I have something to reference. You're not going to see that. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to choose our scraper. Now, obviously, I've already done this, but first thing, click my link below if you want to sign up to Apify. Apify is a scraping marketplace, for those who don't know. $39 a month is the cost to start. You don't have to use this. You can purchase that $39 plan, use the scraper, then turn it off, and then jump back in when you want to scrape again. Or unless if you're, in the volume, if you're doing this daily, then of course that $39. But the cool thing is that $39 is not just for this scraper. You can use it for Apollo for scraping leads. You can use it for all these different scrapers, Google Maps, Instagram, and then build your own if you've got some development experience. So it's not just wasted. I highly recommend Apify. I use it all the time. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to it. So what we need is a LinkedIn scraper. I've already got one down, but if you go to LinkedIn posts, there's a bunch here. Some of them are expensive. like these have got a monthly price plus the actually that's $5 for 1,000 results. That's pretty good. But some of them have like a $50 monthly and then a pay per usage, which is not what I want. I would say you just want pay per usage, but if you look all pricing models, LinkedIn posts, which one is it? There's some expensive ones, man. Yeah, look, 30 plus usage. Forget that. I'm not paying $30 for a LinkedIn scraper. So just change this to pay per usage. Okay, so it's LinkedIn post search scraper, no cookies. It's this one here. I will link that below. But if you just search that name, you should be able to find it. It's $2 for 1,000 results. We don't even need 1,000 results. I'm going to do like 200 posts. So ignore this for now. But we just want to connect Apify to NAN. So go into your NAN. First off, get your trigger going. So do schedule trigger. And then whenever you want to run this, that's totally up to you. But let's just say we'll run it at 10 a.m. Okay. We're not going to execute. And we'll run it every day, 10 a.m. And then you need to set up your Apify. So I am already connected to Apify. I'm not going to go over the connection side of things because it ends up eating the video time. If you want to connect, just click create new credential, and there'll be documentation on how you can connect your account. It's very easy to do. With Apify, I think you just use an API key and paste it in and you're done. So we want to run an actor, and we want to run that specific actor, which is the LinkedIn post search scraper. So usually it's right there. Now I've got it here, but if you just type in, it will go through all. I think there's only 6,000, so they have a list. LinkedIn, that's it there. LinkedIn post search scraper. Then we want to use, so how this works, we're going to have to feed it some input JSON. If you go back to the Apify screen here, there normally is, the prompt is normally, where is it? I think it's in JSON here. There we go. So just basically, just copy this, go back to your NAM workflow, paste it in, and then you can set your criteria here. So if you want to scrape, like what it means by max comments is like how many comments to bring per each post. What you want to do is we want to keep the data recent. So do week, you can set months, and then choose your search query. And then there is a max post field. So I would say like start from 100 to 200 just to keep this video short. I'm going to do 20. Hopefully that's enough. You know what, let's just do 25. Some of these posts as well, and we'll get into it in a second, is some of them are not going to have engagement. I say, like if I go into my LinkedIn, you know what, we'll get into that section in a minute. So set it for 25 posts. You've got to wait for it to finish. You can set the timeout. I would say you're okay just to leave it like that. And then the search query. So I've done struggling with sales. I actually think I had a different search query. Just give me 1 second. I did struggling with lead gen. In fact, I have a different input JSON, so I'm going to put this in here. Okay, so search queries, struggling with lead gen, and then authors, companies. It kept feeding Google and Amazon in there, so I added that in. Max post 50. Yeah, we'll do 50. Screw it. We'll do 50. Scrape reactions, so it's going to scrape the reactions. We need max reactions 5, so it's just going to scrape 5 of them. In fact, let's do 10. Max comments, don't matter. Posted limit, week. I'm just doing it for the last week. Scrape comments, false. We're not going to scrape the comments. Okay, that's good. That's what I did previously. I'm not going to run this because it takes a minute to run, but leave that there. So that section is set. The next thing you want to do, when you run an actor, it creates a data set in Apify. And all you got to do here is go to Apify, and then you want to get data set items. And then basically we're just going to, when that node's ran that actor, we're going to pull that data basically. We won't have that data set ID unless we run the previous node, but I have the ID anyway, or I have the JSON field, which is this here. So when we run that, it's going to give us the ID, which I'm pulling that field from. You know what? Let's execute the previous node, and I'm going to pause it because I want you to have that live data. So I'm going to execute these nodes. I'll pause this video and come right back. It can take a minute to run these, especially 50 to 100 posts. Okay, so now that run is done, this is basically the fields that it's. This is just the output that run is done, and there should be a default data set ID, which is here, and you just literally drag that over. It'll go green, means that it's worked. And then that's good. So all we're doing, so all the data is here. So now we're just going to pull that data. So just quickly execute step, and you see here, I mean, there's the JSON version. There's a table. It looks a bit better, but it's just pulled a bunch of posts. And then it's got 5 pages of different posts. I only pulled 50. So the next step is we don't just want to scrape any posts. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. Okay, yeah, so we don't want to scrape any posts. Now, this is where I wanted to explain my LinkedIn a bit. So I'm just going to open up my LinkedIn. Feel free to send me an invite. But like and this is probably what I would suggest first. Do your search first to see if you've got any relevance, and then that way it's just going to go through them all. So I did struggling with lead gen, and then we'll do the past week. And we just want to do posts, which is here. So like some of these are just like company pages looking for information, but anything with LinkedIn, it's not like Instagram. Anything over 10 reactions usually means that, you know, it's resonating with people, like this here, or it's like a content creator that's got a decent following. Let's just grab this guy. He's got 8,000 followers. That's a good size. Like LinkedIn isn't like Instagram. Anything over 10 reactions is usually decent. So that's the amount that I've set. There's 26 here. She probably got a good following. And but the ones that are like zero leads or zero reactions, sorry, they are like typically like they're probably just random people just, you know, looking like experts. That's what LinkedIn is, right? So I always go reactions. So basically we want to filter everything we've scraped by 10 reactions plus, and then that's going to make it easier on AI because it may have 3 or 4 different posts to review. Obviously, when you do it in a grander scale, if you scrape 600 or 1,000 or whatever, you're going to have more data. I've only done 50, so I might be a little limited here. So anyway, plus sign, type in filter, and then we're just going to create a filter. And I just want to look at my other screen, so I just make sure I've got the right thing here. I want to anything. So I want to find, if you go here and you type in engagement, there is a likes one, engagement likes. I'm just going to find that. So give me 2 seconds. There we go. So anything over, so engagement likes, I want to filter that to be a number that is greater than 10. Now let's see if I execute this, what happens. Okay, we've got something, only one post is greater than 10. So that's not great, but obviously if you scrape 200 posts, let's just do 5 because I've only scraped 50, which is not really much. 5, we got a couple more, okay, there's 3. I don't know why it's discarded 47, so they must all be, so out of 47, only 3 had 5 likes or engagement, which is kind of terrible. It's maybe a terrible example, but we're just going to go with those 3. But like I said, scrape thousands and then do this same filter. It will be a bit more. It will be better. The data will be better. But you'll see that the prompt that I've made is going to make this good. So 3 posts with an engagement over 5. It did run through there. Oh well, that's just how it is. And then the next step is I just want to handle that data. So how it splits out. So I don't want to have all 3 posts in separate pieces of data. I just want to have it all together. So I want to take the content, so the actual post content, and I just want to feed that data like this. So have it in like just in one, 3 lines. Sorry, I don't want to. How do I explain this? I don't want to pull every single field. I just want the content field. So what you do is you just drag that over here and it's going to split out only the content field. And as you can see, when I executed that step, it's just gave me the post content. Now, you can make this automation better and pull the images and analyze the images, but that's way too involved for this simple tutorial. So that part's done. We've got the content there, so now we're filtering out. We've only got 3 items. It's a shame that I've only got 3 posts because I did want to use more, but then I'll have to filter more. And you can see here, like, look at the Apify run. It took 2 minutes. It's got all those results there. So I would suggest starting at 1,000, 2,000. I'm just trying to keep this short. Okay. Next step is this was there was a reason I did this next part, and it was because of how Airtable handles it. So if you're using Google Sheets, you may not need to do this, but I'm just setting the field name basically. So let's do edit fields. Hold on a sec. I think something is different here. I want to split out. And then I want to add a field. I think it was something about Airtable. Manual mapping, add field, and I call it scraped content. And the value is a string, and that's the content. It was when I was adding it to Airtable, it was adding a bunch of empty fields, so I did it like this. You may not have to do this part if you're using Google Sheets, but let's just make sure that worked. Okay, now it's called scraped content. It's like I had to label the field instead of calling it content. I'm not entirely sure. That was just how it fixed it. Okay, and then we're going to connect to Airtable. Now, if you've not got Airtable, I would highly suggest it. It is probably the best database tool there is. Hold on one sec. I've just executed this. Yeah, it's definitely the best database tool, other than, like, obviously Google Sheets is a database, but you can do a whole lot, and you can get AI. They have their AI thing here, which can create the AI which can actually create and modify your base, which is awesome. You just tell it what to do. Saves you so much time. So you can literally tell it to create these to create this base with all these fields. I think I did do that, and it adds in a bunch of different fields. I'll give you the prompts in my school community. So click the link below, and you'll get all this information for the Airtable. And then here, look, this is allowing you to run actual AI agents or AI prompts inside Airtable and then feeding it the fields. So that's kind of cool. That's new, and I've only just discovered that. So anyway, create a record, connect to your Airtable, and then 1 second, I just want to see what I did here. Okay, so we're just creating a record here. So we're basically giving, we've just created a separate section here called scraped, where we put the post data. Then we're going to feed that data back to AI. So I just wanted to put this data here. It's also a good place to, if you want to manually review it yourself and look through what the actual problems and comments and posts were scraped. So anyway, let's so go to your Airtable base. Now you'll have to create this Airtable base. Like I said, if you sign up to the paid plan of Airtable, it will create all this for you. I'm going to give you a prompt, but really the fields that you need are a text field for the name. You don't even need that. You just need step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And now all that's going to do is it's just going to paste the sequence in there like that. And you can copy and paste that into Instantly. I figured there's no point me connecting Instantly because you can literally just copy and paste this, and I'll show you at the end. Okay, so connect to your database, or if you use Google Sheets, use that, and then just feed the scraped fields into your Airtable database, which you just drag this into here, and then that will run through each row. Okay, and then let's go to the next field. So the next field is, sorry, it wouldn't run through each row. You need to aggregate these fields. Aggregate. So we're going to basically get a field, and then we're going to get all those posts, and then we're just going to turn it into one field that will feed to AI. Okay. Okay, so then you just hit individual fields, and then let's execute this. And then we're just going to pull the scraped content. And that, I don't know why we had to set that. I don't know why it worked like that. It was just, that's how it worked. And then that's it. That's all we need to do on that. Then the next thing we need to do is we need to connect to our AI. So click here, AI. Actually, it's open. Is it OpenAI? Yep, OpenAI. Messenger model. Okay, now here's the fun part. Now again, I'm not going to show you how to connect to your OpenAI account. You can create a new credential, follow the documentation. Again, you just need an API key and your organization ID, which will be in the instructions. You can get all this information at platform.openai.com and then go in there, get your API key, your organization ID, and all that stuff. I don't like to show it because people will use your API key and use it for their own usage, so that's why I'm not showing this here, but very easy to do. So select your OpenAI account, your connection, and then all we're doing is we're just going to message a model. Use GPT-4. If you want to use 5, go ahead, and then we're just going to give it a prompt. Now, the prompt, here we go. I'm just going to copy and paste this and then read it out. We do have to feed it some data, that aggregated data that we just created. So you're analyzing LinkedIn posts to uncover common pain points. Also, all these prompts are going to be in the school community. LinkedIn data set. Do not ignore or replace with your own text. That's to avoid it just making up problems. This here is the scraped content, which if I leave this alone, in fact, why is this doing this here? Can I, let's hold on 1 second. Oops. Hold on a second here. I'm just going to go here. And I'm going to execute this. We know that worked. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my model. Okay, so there's a scraped data all in one field. As you can see, these are three posts separated by commas. And then there you can see my JSON data now. It has gone green. But all you do here to get this to work is you just grab this and just put it right where you want it, like that. And then some instructions: only use the data set above, do not make up problems, quotes, or examples, identify recurring frustrations, blockers, or problems in the posts, group these into themes, select the single most common pain point that could be solved with automation or AI. Now, of course, if your business is different, you're going to change that. For example posts, you must copy short directive quotes or accurate paraphrases from the data set. Never invent text. So when I initially did this, it started making up problems. That's why I've included that. If you cannot find 2 to 3 real examples, leave fewer. Do not fabricate. Output must be valid JSON. So this is just how it posts out the data. You can actually, in NAN, you can just put output content as JSON, and I think that's what I did. So I probably don't need that, but I've been so used to doing it. So have it or don't have it, it's okay. And then I gave it some actual examples of the fields that I want. And that is that part done. I don't think I actually gave it an example. Nope. So the only thing I would do is I'd probably do output content as JSON. And then if we execute this now, you should see these JSON fields. Yep, look, so pain point summary, poor lead generation results from weak messaging, bad positioning, and reliance on ineffective high volume outreach tactics. And then it actually gives the posts that it pulled it from, which is awesome. So you know that it's just not making this up. So this was one of the posts here on the side. If your positioning is weak. Yeah, see, here we go. If your positioning is weak, no amount of outreach will work. So it's used that one post that had interaction. So there we go. Many professionals waste time and money on high-volume lead generation methods that don't convert because their messaging fails to build trust or differentiate them from competitors. And then the offer, so it's using that pain point and it's turning it into a sellable offer. An AI tool that audits and improves LinkedIn profiles, outreach messages, and content strategy to align with target audience pain points and enhance positioning, increasing lead quality and conversion rates. That's what we're going to offer them. Now, we've got the problem. We've got a solution. Now we need to turn that into a readable cold email sequence that's actually going to get a reply. And that is the next step. So, next step, we're going to get another model. So OpenAI. And then we're going to say message a model. And then we're going to build a 5-day cold email sequence. Now, if you've ran cold email before, you know that this is a pain in the ass. Like there's no, it's frustrating to have to keep rewriting cold emails because they don't all work. So you've got to get a little creative. So I made a prompt for this, and I did have to feed it an example as well because I didn't like the prompt it was producing. Now, I don't think AI is the best at writing cold emails. They like to like storytell and give you too much information, and that's why I had to give it an example. When you're doing cold email, the best thing is to have just quick boom, boom, boom. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is, if you can, proof of concept or proof of social proof, and then an offer. And that's kind of what I've done here. So here we go. Here's the prompt. I'm not going to read it all, but I'm going to give you an idea. You're an expert at writing cold emails for B2B outreach. You can do a separate prompt for a system prompt that has that. Here are the pain points identified from the LinkedIn post. So all I'm doing here is I'm just feeding it these fields. I'm not going to redo that, but I just pulled pain point summary over, why it matters, and a possible offer. Don't need the example post. We've already got that stored in Airtable. And then instructions, write a 5-day cold email sequence, 1 email per day, targeting people who experience this pain point. Okay, each email. Now, of course, you can change this to your style, but I've just done short, conversational, focused on the pain point and how the offer can help. Include a clear, low-friction CTA. Now, if you want to have a specific call to action, include it in this section here. Avoid long paragraphs, make it scannable. Use real examples or paraphrases from the dataset where relevant, but don't invent problems. Make each email progressively build interest over the 5 days, and you'll see that when they write them. Personalize lightly using placeholders like first name. You can do that. Leave that there. It will be read. It's just going to literally take that text and put it into your cold email sequence, and you'll see how we'll use that. I'll show you when we paste them into Instantly. Okay, so that's done, and then output email sequence day 1, subject line, short engaging subject line for day 1, full email content for day 1, and then the same for day 2, day 3, and day 4 and day 5. I thought I did an example, but you know what? No, I didn't. I took my example that I wanted, which is here, and then I just gave it to AI and I said, use this, make a prompt to create this example. So let's go to my demo test YouTube one. This is one of my favorite sequences. So I just grabbed this, and obviously don't use this specific email, but I said use this as far as like how much text to include and kind of the outline. So I gave that to AI to build me a prompt, and then it built me that prompt that you have here. Again, it's in my school community. Go ahead, click that link. You can get this all for free right now, not free forever. Okay, so that's all good there. You want to output it as JSON, and I think we should be good here. I'm just going to rename these two. So this is the 5-day cold email sequence, and this is the pain points from LinkedIn posts. Here you go. And you know what? Like, I also want to mention that I'm not like a developer. This is all stuff that I've learned on my own. So if I'm saying any of the data handling stuff wrong because I'm not a developer, but that should be a positive as well, because like anyone can do this. You just got to take the time to learn it. And I've literally created all these tools for you that you can plug and play into your business. If you join my community, my support's going to be free. The community right now is free, and you can implement these into your business and make them better. Or even ask me in the community for changes, and I'll look at building them or doing videos on those. So I just want to put that out there because there's a lot of value in these automations. Okay, so now all we're doing now is we're just going to add that email sequence that AI creates, and we're just going to add it to our database. So create another record here. Go to record, create. Then we want to add it to the same base, which is called email outreach. Obviously, it's going to be whatever you called it. And then we want to add it to email sequences. And then we're just going to, if we execute this, we're going to be able to get the fields here and just place them in the appropriate Airtable field. Okay, so sequence name is, I'll show you that in a second. I did that with a prompt in Airtable, and then all we're going to do here is I'm not, and see, I didn't add a subject line. You can change that. You should probably use the AI ones though. I should have added a subject field, but I didn't, so no worries. You can add that easy, but here we go. Just put step 1 in here, step 2 in here, step 3 in here, step 4 in here, and last step 5. Now, they look like good emails. And that's it. Yeah, that's all I did. So now if I execute this step, I'm going to run the whole thing so you can see it live, but that is all we need. Now, I should have included a subject line. You can do that very easy in your Airtable. And then obviously for the status, I'm just going to put draft. Okay. And we're good to go. So go ahead, save that. But that's pretty much the automation done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run it right now, and then I'm going to show you what it's created. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back because it takes a minute for the Apify to scrape the data, and then you'll see what it's created, and you will hopefully be impressed. So let's see. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we've ran through it. Everything went through, no errors, nothing like that. Let's go over to the Airtable to see what it's created here. So I was in this field as it was running, so it went to the next field. As you can see, the sequence name, you can give it your own name. I actually had an AI agent that just creates a name based on that, but you can't do it for the primary field, so it's deleted my prompt, so I'm just not going to show you now. But down here, this is where you can create these cool, so you could just say based on the sequence, write me a cool name, a cool sequence name. It's just a gimmick. You don't need to do that. But it's created the emails here. And so all we're going to do is I'm just going to review the emails, but they look pretty cool. Like this would work in a real life cold email sequence, and it's done a great job. And all we're going to do is just copy and paste it instantly. But have a look here. Hi, first name, quick question. Is your team spending more time filtering out unmotivated leads than closing deals? Now, if you remember the problem, it is, was it this one? No, it was... Oh, sorry, no, it did it again. So here's the pain points that it discovered. So most lead gen experts don't want to admit that they hand over leads without qualification. You end up chasing dead ends. That was the one that was the pain point that AI discovered from this most recent run. And this was the offer AI-powered lead scoring and qualification system that uses real-time intent data to filter and prioritize leads based on motivation and fit beforehand on sales teams. So it's basically created an offer for that in a cold email sequence, like here. So, quick question: is your team spending more time filtering out unmotivated leads than closing deals? I've been hearing this a lot. Teams get flooded with inbound or scrape leads, but there's no early qualification. The result: wasted hours and a stalled pipeline. We built something that helps fix exactly that. Curious if this is a challenge you're seeing too. It didn't add a signature, so obviously modify the prompt. The last one did. I don't know why this one didn't. And then day 2, hey, first name. Yesterday I mentioned how early lead qualification can make or break pipeline momentum. Our AI-powered lead scoring system uses real-time intent signals, things like search behavior and engagement patterns to rank leads before your reps even touch them. It helps teams focus on motivated buyers and skip the tire kickers. Want me to send over a quick explainer? So there you go. And then it's got step 3. I'm not just going to go into all these here. We'll do this one. Hi, first name, most rev teams stall because their funnel is wide but not smart. One GTM leader told me we had a massive lead list, but only 5% were worth pursuing. Sales wasted weeks chasing ghosts. We designed a system that filters out the noise automatically using intent data, company fit, and behavioral triggers. Would it be helpful to see how your team could use this too? And then day 4, day 15. I would have probably started with the 15-minute walkthrough this before. But still, this is pretty good. Like this is an actual converting campaign that will work. Like this will work. The key thing here, and you'll have to do this in one of my other videos, but it's scraping the leads from somewhere like Apollo and making sure you've got that audience lined up. that's a little bit out of this video, but this is a tool to get that research part done. This is probably more for someone that's already running campaigns. If you're new, check out my 5-day cold email course. That'll give you the instructions on how to set all this up, how to scrape leads, how to choose an audience, all that stuff. Completely free, link below. But anyway, next step, log into your Instantly, and all you're going to do is you're going to create a new campaign. Obviously, scraping the leads, not on this video, but you need to have your own leads scraped. You can get, I do cover that in several videos and in my cold email course. You campaign, continue. But literally, all you're going to do here is sequences, copy the subject. I know I didn't put the subject in, so do your own subjects, but make a field for subject, and you can add that in NaN. Just add a field in, just add a subject 1 field, and then literally on here, you would just pull that subject line into the subject 1 field. That's my mistake, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. And then just paste it in. And then first name, you can set this variable. Check out my cold email course; it'll cover that. Set a variable first name, and then when you upload your leads, it's gonna replace their first name with the first name in the leads. Quick question: is your team spending? Blah blah blah. And then obviously put your signature, and then just add another step. Go to your cold email, copy, paste, and so on and so forth. That's what you would do. I'm not going to do them all. And just be like, cheers, Jake, CEO, or whatever it is you want to put there. And then remove those quotations. But I mean, this is a great example. And then, like, if this is not working for you, you know what you do? You just run. You just go back to your NaN. You go back up in here, and you say, you know what? I want to have 200. That's why there's less. But I want to have, you know what? I want to have 1,000 posts this time, and I want it to be about managing Google Ads, or let's see, finding the perfect home, or something like that, or finding, you know, and then even localize it. If you put your own city in, or put your state, or your country, or whatever. So yeah. The more data you give it here, the better it's going to be, and you can split test this through Instantly. So once you've ran 1,000 leads through this, and your reply rates are low, get another campaign going, and you don't have to do any of the writing or any of that. All you got to do is scrape the leads, choose the problem, and it's done all the research for you. And also separately, like I said, if you want to do say you want to do it for Reddit, and I actually might do a video on this. Use Reddit Scraper. Go through the Reddits, look at common pain points in your topic. You obviously got to go in your Reddit account and join those subreddits, and then do the exact same thing. And same for Instagram and Facebook and any scraper, even Google. Actually, no, Google Maps ain't going to work, but Instagram, you could do the same thing. I would say stick to LinkedIn because it's business, and Reddit, there's a lot of business topics, so maybe not Instagram, but I'm sure you could find a usage for Instagram and Facebook and all that. So yeah, now you've just built, so you can run. I mean, it took me 30 seconds to actually run it, but you could have just like hundreds and hundreds of scrapers and hundreds of cold email sequences that you can run through. You can switch it out, and then use the Apollo scraper. I think it's that here. Use this to actually get your leads and put them into Instantly, and then just send them through this, and there you go. That is this tool alone, I think, has huge value, because for me, especially when I started out, I didn't know what to target or what to offer. This is actually taking real business problems and turning that into an offer and an actual something that people resonate with. So you're doing market research, and it's going to cost you $39 for Apify subscription, maybe like cents for your AI usage, and if you want to use Airtable, $10-15. So yeah, and that's it. I really hope you like this. This has got huge value. You could add this to any business if you want to get it for free. Like I said, it's not going to be free forever. Download below, upload it to your NaN account, and start using it today. But yeah, thanks for watching, and leave a comment and like and subscribe and all that stuff. Bye-bye.